What are the typical endgame positions arising from the king's gambit? Have you ever wondered what kind of endgame positions can come from the king's gambit? This opening starts with the moves 1e4, e5, and to f4, where white offers a pawn to black. This opening is famous for leading to aggressive and tactical positions. As the game progresses, the endgame can take various forms based on how the pieces are played. One important aspect to consider is the material balance. The king's gambit often results in situations where one player has a piece advantage while the other might have extra pawns. This can create endgames where converting that material advantage into a win becomes essential. Another factor is the pawn structure. The pawn formations can become quite complex, with pawns frequently being exchanged or advanced. This can lead to endgames involving queens and pawns or rooks and pawns. The ability to create passed pawns is vital in these scenarios. Piece activity also plays a significant role. The king's gambit encourages active play, which can lead to endgames where pieces like queens, rooks, or bishops remains on the board. This can greatly influence the outcome of the game. Now let's look at some typical endgame positions. Queen and pawn endgames are quite common in the king's gambit, especially if the queens are not exchanged early. In these endgames, creating passed pawns and coordinating the movements of the queen and king is key to winning. Rook and pawn endgames can also arise if rooks are still on the board. These endgames often revolve around creating passed pawns and using the rook to support them. Players may need to block opponent pawns or create threats against the opponent's king. King and pawn endgames are fundamental in chess and can emerge from the king's gambit if other pieces are exchanged. Here, the main principle is to use the king to guide the pawn forward, ensuring it can promote safely. When playing the king's gambit, converting advantages into wins often requires skillful endgame play. Players need to understand how to use their pieces effectively and create passed pawns. Mastering basic endgame techniques, such as triangulation with the king and using the opposition, can be beneficial. Adaptability is also crucial. The transition from the middle game to the endgame can happen suddenly. Players must be ready to adjust their strategies based on the pieces that remains on the board. In building a chess repertoire, knowing these endgame positions can help players anticipate various scenarios that may arise from the king's gambit. By mastering these endgames, players can improve their overall chess skills and increase their chances of winning games that start with this opening.